What's up, guys? It's Tanko Bear, and today I have for you another review. It is the Tobh clone from EhPro. Now, I'll show you more about it down in the close-ups, but let's talk about it for a second before I get into that. Now, this is made out of stainless steel. It has a 510 thread. It has 3 posts with Phillips head screws, a copper contact pin. It has a conical top cap for flavor. It has a heat sink in the top fins, as you can see there, and it's 22 millimeters in diameter. Now your airflow is down on the bottom, and you can turn the top cap to increase or decrease airflow, which I'll show you. But before we go down and close, let's vape on it. I am running this at 50 watts on the IPv2 at 0.2 ohms. This is 24 gauge dual coil. So yeah, before I fog up the whole room, let's dive up close, and I will show you what it looks like. Alright, so here's the Tobh and all of its individual pieces. First we will start out with the presentation box. So it has a nice EhPro logo there. Came in a nice closed cell foam. Inside this box you get some O-rings with some screws. You get some silica wick, and they actually give you a bit of 28 gauge Canthal. I went ahead and took my cotton out of this build, but it does still have my coils. So this is the Tobh. You can see it has a pretty deep deck. It holds juice very, very well. It also has very, very big post holes. This is 24 gauge wire in dual coil mode, running at around 0.2. And it holds it just fine. You can see the top post here is raised, and they are Phillips head screws, and they are actually pretty big screws. Don't have to worry about any tiny screws to mess with. It is dual O-rings. I've not had any problems with the actual O-rings on here leaking, and the bottom pin is 510, and there is it's a 510 that's copper, and there is a jank serial number that's not real because this is a clone. But this is the V1, not the V2 or V2.5 model. But overall, it's very easy to build on, very easy to work with. You can see these two little lips here. Those are used to adjust your airflow, because you have the 3 holes on the tank. So if you wanted all 3 open, you would just set this to the side, and you have all 3 airflow holes open, or you can turn the top cap to close off some air holes. Now you will notice with these lips here, you cannot do a parallel build with your coils directly parallel to the center post to get better airflow. So that could be a nuisance to some builders, but it doesn't really bother me. It still gets pretty good airflow. Although it doesn't have as much airflow as I'd like, but you can always drill it out if you want more airflow. The top cap is another interesting design. It is a dome style top cap, so it brings in better flavor. It also has its own little O-ring up here at the top. It just sits right on there, and it works very well. And then you have the drip tip provided by EhPro. It's also a nice little drip tip, but I'm going to be having a Chuff Enough top coming in that I'll be doing a review on for the Tobh. Don't want to miss that. That is the drip tip to use on this. Also, these are the heat fins I was talking about earlier. It helps dissipate the heat on your Addy whenever you're building, or whenever you're vaping, so that it doesn't burn the shit out of your mouth when you're using it. And it seems to work fairly well. Alright, so that's about it for the up-close view. I will get it reworked, re-put together, and I will give you my final conclusions. So, final thoughts on the EhPro Tobh clone. From what I've seen of the original, it's a very nice clone. I've not had any issues out of it. This is actually my go-to Addy right now. I have pretty much retired the Plume Veil clone, unfortunately, And the only reason I retired it is because the juice well on it is so small. That's what I love about this Tobh. I don't have to drip nearly as often on this Tobh because it holds more juice. I really like that about it. Also, it gives off good vapor, and the flavor isn't as on par as it is with the Plume Veil, but it's still there. You can still taste your juice plenty fine. Overall design, 1 to 10, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It's my go-to Addy right now. Like I said, you might want to drill out the air holes a little bit more, or not even drill them out, add a couple more above it, especially if you like your coils to sit up higher on the deck, like I do. So I'm going to probably drill a couple more holes a little bit higher, just to get some more airflow. Overall, for the price, for the clone, you can't really beat it. EhPro did a good job on this. If you can afford the authentic, I always say go ahead and get the authentics because it's good to support these companies, but if you can't and you're like me and you can only afford clones or the occasional authentic, then this is a very, very good clone. Let's do one more Tobh. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the review of the EhPro Tobh version 1 clone. Like I said, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's my daily atomizer right now. I hope you guys liked the video, and happy vaping.
Thank you for watching Colbert Tech Repair. Remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.